I got to start season official practice last Wednesday. Got kicked off. Had a great workout in. I don't know that I have a lot of like, hey, we're going to be this, that, or the other right now. I mean, we're essentially 2 workouts into the season and a couple of easy days. But freshmen are acclimating well, which is great considering we have 13 of them coming in right now. And then, our upperclassmen are looking good and responding well. They obviously put in some good work over the summer. Danielle is on fire right now. Just excited to see what the next few months will bring for her. Marcos and Danny look really well right now too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with those freshmen and who those middle spots are going to be for the squad as we move forward in the next few weeks.
Questions? Where are you at with your own mindset after being a little bit concerned about your late start?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Matt, that's a great question, Matt. And I think it was concerning. Ferris and I, it was one of those things we talk about all the time. Control your controllables. That's big for us, and day by day, and just embrace the process. And Ferris looked at me a week or two ago, and he's like, "Gannon, control your controllables." I needed to let go of that. And the thing is that our seniors put together a camp on their own, and they did a great job with it. And all the freshmen came and just on their own and did their own things, and they got together and integrated well and worked on building those culture things that have always been so important to what we're building. And so in some ways it felt like Coach Ferris and I were the 2 kids that got left out of the recess party or the lunchroom table or whatever else, and the team was already vibing and moving in the right direction by the time he and I actually got to officially connect with them. So it was good. Yeah, so we've always said, culture is the biggest and most important thing for I think any team that's successful, whether you're talking about, the Amazon or whatever that might be. If you look at those cultures that are successful, and that's something that we've worked really hard to establish here. And it started with the kids that graduated last May. We had 2, Danielle and Boston, are 5th years now. And so some of that culture carried over with them. They were the only people here that knew where we started. But our freshmen, sophomores, juniors through the years have all bought into that. And it's kind of been get on the bus or get off. And it hasn't been a hard sell because they're Creighton kids and want to do things the right way and work hard. And, that's been part of what we've tried to recruit to, is the people who from day one are going to believe in what we're building here. I honestly had nothing to do with any of it. I was directed to make sure I stayed far away from it per compliance, and I did. But yeah, we had a group of seniors. They asked, like, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "You can do whatever you want to do. I just can't be involved." And so they worked their tails off and put some things together. And I guess our kids ended up in Iowa. And I've heard stories since then. They went to Okoboji, and I've heard all about it, but I had nothing to do with it. And they made hobo meals one night over the campfire. I heard those did not go well. Just some of those fun integration things that I think that come from that time together and getting to know each other outside of the official practice and official school time. Just that bonding and that culture stuff, I think that's really important. So it was good time. I'm proud of them. I really am. So.
Is that something that's ever been done before?
No, we've always been able to have official team camp. So we've always done something like that in the past before, where we've gone to, one year we went to Colorado, and I turned our kids over to Army Rangers for 3 days, which was an amazing experience. Last year we went to Iowa, post-COVID, and we tried to have fun. We rented out a church camp for a week, and we went ziplining and had all these great things, obstacle courses and things like that, paintballing and all these things. We've always done things like that before. I believe that's just such an important part. Relationships are built when we have the opportunity to get to know somebody in a comfortable setting, in a setting that isn't, just running or just a classroom. And then when people can be vulnerable and when people can be honest. And when we have people who are bought into those things, the culture and the relationships, and people can be vulnerable, then people are going to compete for one another. When things start to hurt in the middle of a race, they're going to think of those things, and they're going to want it not for themselves, but for the greater. And when you talk about running, running is, you ask our kids, it's 90% mental. And so when all of a sudden the grader is bigger than yourself, you're willing to go a little bit farther and push a little bit more. So that team culture has always been vital for us.
Anything else for Coach?
No, perfect. Looking forward to, yeah, go ahead.
So obviously with the other fall sports have already started competitions. Are you starting to see those like, let's get into a race jitters?
Yeah, we're ready. I mean, the kids are probably more ready, or they think they're more ready than I probably think they are right now. Cross country is such a unique thing. Like, we are looking, so we run next week. We officially have our first race on the schedule next week. Go up to Augie. But just because we're running doesn't necessarily mean we're racing. I know that's like a weird concept. Like, you have to look at, 6 races on the calendar, and your ability to be at your absolute best is probably only 2 races. And so how you have to manage load and manage racing strategies and those things so that we can run our absolute fastest at Big East and regionals. And so, yeah, we haven't figured out exactly, who's running versus who's racing next week. Just about everybody who's healthy will go to the start line, but our strategies then will come to play as we get a little bit closer and get a few more workouts under our belt. So. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.